Fast forward, Earth got a wild update. Random portals spawned everywhere, so life is literally just dungeons now. What is inside? A total mystery. Wild zones packed with annoying traps that ruin your entire day. Plus, there are terrifying beasts and insane legendary loot hiding everywhere. Magic potions that heal literally anything. Dragon horns way tougher than diamonds. Snag these epic drops and you are instantly filthy rich. So, humans started unlocking superpowers. Their stats got mega buffed, giving them insane strength and magical skills. The brave daredevils dragging fat loot back from these zones were named hunters. Boom, a whole new economy dropped. It is pure survival of the fittest dungeon style. Legit, roll a top tier class and you instantly get VIP status and clout. Zero hate or bias either. Even total school dropouts or broke. Nobody's like our main guy. Tsukasa could totally hit the jackpot if they rolled a super rare class. Plot twist. Nanomiya rolled an S-rank trap masterclass, meaning he can control dungeon hazards. In short, control the traps, control the zone. It is the ultimate dungeon cheat code. Our dude was absolutely hyped when he unlocked this 2 years ago. It was supposed to be his massive glow-up moment. Riding the S-rank high, he marched into the exam hall to grab his official hunter license. A target dummy sat before him. The goal was simple: smash it to pieces and flex his new powers. He dramatically waves his hand to trigger a trap, but super awkwardly, absolutely nothing happens. Totally shook, he tries again, convinced the system is just lagging or bugging out. Second try, still dead air. The examiner and other newbies just stare at him like he lost his mind. Cringe. The tester asks what he is doing. He panics and tries explaining that his ability probably only works inside real dungeons with actual traps. The tester calls mangacap, labeling him a total scammer faking his stats for clout. Nanomiya loses it, yelling back, swearing he is a real S-rank, but it is a major L because he can only use words. Sadly, nobody else can peep your personal status screen. Desperate to prove he is not crazy, he begs them to test his skills inside a real zone to clear his name. The guy hits him with a big no. Zones are too deadly, and noobs cannot enter without proving their power first, which is literally the whole point of the license. So he asks what he should do now. The guy coldly tells him to just go find a normal day job like an average person. So, poor Nanomiya totally failed his hunter dream. Instead, he became a literal human punching bag for real hunters. His life is absolute trash now due to failing the exam. To make it worse, his main bully is a former school classmate who actually made the cut. This jerk, Asura, takes out all his workplace rage on our poor guy, while pretending it is just training. Asanuma thinks the S-rank claim is pure cap. Whenever Nanomiya tries defending himself, he just gets stomped on. Post-training, Nanomiya nagged Asanuma about their deal. Asanuma promised a dungeon permit if he survived a beating. Asanuma saw the desperation in his eyes and grinned. One last test. He flashed the signed permit, but warned him it came with a heavy price tag. The deal? Survive a beatdown from him and the pros. Spoiler, the pros were just his old high school bullies. Even though it was super sketchy, Nanomiya agreed. He needed that access bad, so he got absolutely wrecked by Asanuma's squad, but he held on for that piece of paper. Then Asanuma ripped it up. Can't let you go on hope alone. He basically just wanted to stomp on whatever good vibes Nanomiya had left. Raging, Nanomiya lunged, but Asanuma stabbed his hand. Ouch. The bullies walked off laughing, telling him to quit dreaming. Finally, Nanomiya realized he'd been totally played. Sponsors can give permits, but civilians are dead weight. It's a total money pit unless a billionaire burns cash just for the lulz. Nanomiya knew it was a lie, but he had to believe, because one dungeon run could fix his whole life. He was walking home, brooding, when chaos hit. A gate cracked open, wrecking the street. Right then, the Hunter Association sent an alert. Global dungeon break. Twist, the whole world is turned into a dungeon. Monsters out. Humans running. Nanomiya panicked, then realized fate was finally on his side. His skill only worked in dungeons, and now the world was won. He popped his trap scan skill immediately. Sure enough, he spotted every trap. The dude was hyped. His powers were real. Prayers answered. Finally, he could be the hunter he wanted to be. Traps usually suck for hunters, but Nanomiya was chilly saw exactly where they were. He was mapping them out when he turned and saw a monster chasing a mom and kid. He grabbed a pipe, confident his skill would clutch this. They ran, but the kid tripped, splitting them up. The beast sees a solid opening to squash the kid, but Nanomiya dives in, blocking the blade with his staff. Dude is super hyped as he tells the monster it just tripped his trap. It swings for his head, but he ducks and weaves. He chucks his staff at it but totally whipped. Monster laughs at the fail, Clueless, it's bait. Didn't see the trap behind? The rod hit the switch. Click. Giant axe pendulum swings out. A huge blade on a string, slicing the zone. Before it can twitch, the beast gets wrecked. Ninomiya's pump traps are his new monster-slaying hack. With the baddie gone, the kid runs back to his mom. Seconds later, a squad of armored creeps shows up. Too many to fight, so he thinks. Use the skill. They charge, he procs it, and a rock drops, crushing him. Turns out, the skill triggers traps remotely, but burns mana, wiping them out, leveled Ninomiya up a rank. Also, realize, more moves equals more skills. He's stoked to finally use his SRACIG job for real. Just then, a group who saw him win stepped out of hiding. They praise his guts, thinking he's a pro. They ask where to go, and Ninomiya confesses, admitting he's no pro, but can find a safe spot. Dungeons always have a chill zone with 0 threats. The hard part is actually finding where it is. People say that takes a pro team to find, but Ninomiya's like, chill, I got this. He touches the floor to scan for traps. Using this, he can spot empty areas, meaning they're safe. He tracks it and says, follow me to Higashiawa Park. Trusting him, the gang follows him to the safety zone. They cheer, super glad to be safe. Mom and kid say thanks. They'd be toast otherwise. Then, Ninomiya dashes back into danger. His skill hints at a trap-heavy spot hides something good. Running there, he wonders what loot awaits. Betting it's a powerful secret item. Totally useful loot, if he can just snag it fast. Nino's almost there, when a voice he knows creeps up. He spins. Total panic mode. It's that creep Asanuma stalking him. Dude clocks the fear. Hiding from the beasties too. He sneers. Smart spot. 0 monsters here. Then, bam, lunges with a pipe, aiming straight for Nino's melon. Nino ducks, the swing and yells, bro, what's your deal? He's like, hello? Major crisis happening. Not exactly the time for a death. Guy shrugs. World's toast anyway. Only the strong survive now, baby. Says he's basically cleared it off anyone he hates. Power rules. Loser. Then he drops this bomb. He wants to see if PKing players gives X. Nino's thinking, yup, dude is fully unhinged. Plus, his moves are super sus right now. Like he's dodging invisible traps like a cheat code. Seeing Nino's face, the creep decides to flex his secret. He flashes some gizmo trap detector. That's his cheat code. It's budget compared to Nino's scan, but it spots local hazards fine. Plus, that model costs serious bank. Nino's confused how to scrub before that bling. Guy keeps yapping, says he just snagged it fresh. Totally raided a gear shop when the chaos popped off. Claims with stat scanner, he's basically God mode since no trap can touch him. Stuck in this mess, Nino realizes his only win con is triggering a trap manually on the guy. Spots a trap above and spams his activation skill. Steel bars rain down and smash the dude flat. Guy drops. Nino grins, thinking, GG easy. But nope. Psycho stands up with 0 damage. Laughs like a villain. So you really are a trap bro. Nino's jaw drops when he spots a spark on his back. Dude's rocking an invincible guard. The gizmo puts up a magic shield around you, blocking hits like a tank. It eats fatal damage for breakfast, repeatedly. Still cackling? He reminds Nino that he looted the shop. That's how he scored the detector and the shield. He brags that with this epic loot, he's finally gonna be Before Nino can blink, the guy rushes and boots him in the gut. Nino eats dirt, hurting bad. Psycho grabs the pipe to finish him. Dude's cackling like a Joker wannabe, while pounding Nomiya, calling this his origin story. Asanuma is super salty. He got ghosted by the guild for being a lowly, derank scrub. He wanted to flex in a high-level dungeon, but got denied. Now he's raging hard. Standard behavior. He's just venting on Nomiya. Ninomiya realizes if he doesn't clutch up fast, he's toast. Trying to survive, spams a trap, but Asanima's Patuin gear blocks it. Lame. Still, Ninomiya keeps kiting and dropping more traps, just trying to buy some breathing room. Ninomiya realizes he's cooked the Tsunomas. Wall hacks let him see every single trap. Even worse, trying to land. A hit is useless, cause of that cheat code, invisible shield. Nomiya realizes he's basically out of options. Suddenly, his status window pings. System update. System says he unlocked a new skill from grinding so much proficiency. Ninomiya realizes he managed to snag it just by spamming the same move over and over. He checks the skill. Trap creation. Let's go. It burns mana like crazy, but spawns fresh traps instantly. Now, Ninomiya thinks he's actually got a shot at winning this. He dashes to the perfect spot to cast his new ult. Asanima's like, why you standing there, weirdo? Ninomiya goes, watch this. He hits the skill button, and out of thin air, a giant log spawns. Asanima freaks where'd that come from. Bam! Log to the face. He goes flying back. Ninomiya's grinning like an idiot cause it actually worked. He's hyped his skill, is his ticket to the W. He spams it again. Asanuma sees it coming and literally squeals. How's this trash mob spawning traps? He wonders. Ninomiya walks up. I'm built different. S-Rod, trap, master, baby. 2 flex harder. He casts it again. Something drops from the sky. Asanuma cowers, but plonk. It's just a bucket. 0 damage. Asanuma's confused, seeing this, but Ninomiya realizes his mana bar is too low for the good stuff. Big attacks need big mana, which he definitely doesn't have. Right on cue, Asanuma starts roasting. Him a bucket, that's your ult. Weak sauce. He figures he's got nothing to worry about now, but Ninomiya goes, psych, that was just bait. Check your feet, genius. Asanuma realizes he got baited right into a preset trap. Oop! Suddenly, a buzzsaw shoots up from the ground, aiming for his face. He shrieks, but thanks to that saw hits the shield and goes, nope, 0 damage. He dips, but no chill. Another trap sneaks up from behind. Needle-wa incoming. Man's running around like a headless chicken. Boom. Caught lacking in another trap. Big L. He's zooming, realizing his shield's gonna rage quit if this keeps up. Just when the dude thinks he's Gucci, lightning strikes from the ceiling. Shocking. Zap. He's toast and knows his HP is critically low right now. One more bonk and it's game over for him. Can't even think before stepping in another trap. Unbreakable chains. Yeah, he's totally gotcha'd now. Ninomiya strolls up to the stuck dude. It's a combo, but bro was clueless. Trap combos, spam attacks, non-stop direct tanky intruders. Ninomiya then says, welcome to the boss level. Q. Giant bolt from the sky. Asanuma squeals like a baby, begging for hacks, cause he ain't ready to delete yet. Bolt lands. Shield clutches one last time before shattering into pixels. He flops on the floor, 0 stamina, totally owned by Ninomiya's like, nah, no need. To unalive him, the shield's busted anyway, but he definitely smashes that trap searcher tool. You lost cause you didn't spot the combo and wasted your ult, he says. Winner Ninomiya heads straight for the loot he wanted. He peeps. Ches assist a ping. It's S-rank ultra rare gear. Sheesh. Hidden rare drops. Yeah, those are worth crazy bank. So OP they instantly make you a god tier player. Ninomiya pops the lid and starts floating like magic. Magic stats go burr. Did he just snag a mega XP booster? Since his magic was trash, he couldn't craft the big boy traps before. But this new loot, total game changer. It's the Archmage orb. His magic jumped from 7 to 12. With this mana pool, Ninomiya knows he can cook up insane traps. Hyped up, he decides to test drive the new power. He spots some huge bug monsters. Perfect target practice. Ninomiya instantly triggers the trap skill. Inferno burner. Owl fired damage. Let's go. One blast, and the bugs are crispy critters. Suddenly, 2 randoms pull up. Ninomiya goes stealth mode. These guys are shook seeing such beefy monsters delete. They figure an S-rank pro did this. Ninomiya camps in the bushes, spying on M. So, the defense force dudes are here, and Ninomiya figures there. The Evok Uba. Like 2 seconds later, some other guy bursts in, yelling at his squad to bolt for the baseball field, cause the main team spotted the big bad boss. Guess they're genius. Strahd is just spamming ults on the boss till it drops. Ninomiya shook that these hunters actually located the boss this fast. Area bosses are top-tier dungeon baddies. Basically raid bosses that wreck Noobit. But they're also target number 1. Since pro hunters gotta clap them first. Kill the boss, and every other creep nearby goes poof, turning the whole map into a chill safe zone. Hyped by the drama, Ninomiya decides he's gotta peep the action personally. Meanwhile, the boss squad hasn't even seen the big guy, but the trash mobs are already kicking their butts. Then, boom, the boss spawns in and says hello with a massive heat laser. Team captain guys starts screeching at his crew to vacate the stadium cause the boss is incoming hot. But luck's not on his side, falling debris squashes him flat instantly. One chick hunter realizes they're totally toast, since this beast is way out of their league. Ninomiya sprints to the stadium, stoked to fight since his trap card is ready. He is dead set on soloing this boss, which would basically rage quit the war in this zone. The brawl gets spicy. The artillery crew dumps their entire ammo supply trying to nerf the beast. Their combo attack triggers a massive boom, fooling the hunters into thinking they actually got the W. But smoke clears, and Nope Boss is still standing there chilling. Turns out, it has Otter again, instantly healing any scratch damage. Watching this, Ninomiya, hey Laziz. The hunters are cooked cause their attacks are useless. That thing just heals, unless you one-shot it with a crit. Asanuma's stealth guard was annoying, but thinks infinite healing is way worse, since damage doesn't stack. Still, Ninomiya bets he can clutch this fight. Doesn't look like anything he can't handle. While he's strategizing, that hunter girl screams to draw aggro. She's terrified but decides to tank the boss so her squad can bail. Boss ain't playing though, instantly firing a laser beam at her face. Seeing that, she figures it's game over. Eyes shut, bracing for the respawn screen. Opens them up and Ninomiya is holding her. She scans the safe spot and yells, "Where the heck are we?" Ninomiya says he saved her with a warp trap right before impact. Basically, it's a dungeon glitch that teleports you to a random spot. It's typically seen as a pain in the neck, but used right, it's clutch for rescues, like Ninomiya showed. Basically, the ultimate hack for non-lethal traps. She's totally shook and confused, asking Ninomiya who the heck he is. Ninomiya's like, "I love to chat, but I got literally zero time." He starts to bail, telling her to warn the squad he's soloing the boss. His plan? Drag the beast to the city, but she's totally objecting. She yells that they on purpose baited the boss away so civilians wouldn't get hurt. Ninomiya goes, "Town's empty." Yep, it's basically a free battlefield now. Without saying another word, Ninomiya bolts, leaving her standing there bewildered. Meanwhile, hunters are struggling hard because the boss heals like crazy. They're terrified they might actually croak, but suddenly a wash basin bonks the boss. Classic humiliation move. And turns out, Ninomiya's the troll who dropped it to grab its attention. He taunts the monster. "Come get me if you're actually the boss." Triggered, the boss charges a heat beam to roast Ninomiya. Hunters freak out because he's basically making the monster rage. But Ninomiya dodges like a pro, shocking everyone. One guy thinks he can fly, but the vet sees the truth. Turns out launched up using a springboard trap. Dude's right, Ninomiya used a harmless bouncy trap to dodge instantly. He figures he can air hop freely if he times it right. It's basically a cheat code for aerial combat. He keeps bouncing till he's on the boss's head to annoy it properly. Now that he's got its attention, Ninomiya books it to the city, leading it straight into his custom trap setup. Just as planned, the boss chases him, non-stop. The hunters radio the info that the beast went berserk and is hitting the power station. At one point, the beast nearly katoo's him, but he warps last second to cheat death. Ninomiya's stoked. He lured it far, but gotta drag it to his big trap zone. The time to show this boss a whole new level of hell near the custom trap. First, he spawns a giant chain to lock that beast down. Monster stuck. Ninomiya swings the iron axe pendulum. He don't stop, spawns a huge racing saw to slice it up. Ninomiya ain't shocked. The beast isn't dead yet. Even after eating all those this beast is OP, so he knows he needs a totally bonkers. Ninomiya keeps spamming attacks while dropping boulders and roasting it with the Inferno burner. He's loving it. Trolling a beast like, having fun yet? Crushed and toasted. The mob panics and flies up, but Ninomiya totally predicted that move and prepped a nasty surprise. Right on cue, he triggers the trap card. Boom! A lightning spear drops and skewers the guy. That spear is the map's ultimate weapon, which he spotted instantly with trap scan earlier. Pinned by the zap, the beast rages, but Ninomiya bounces away safely. Dude's got one more trick up his sleeve, swinging an axe to smash a power tower. Surge time. See? That spear stuck in the mob, part of the master plan. It catches the surge, dealing massive crit damage. Beast shrieks as high voltage fries its insides, basically turns the thing into a crispy electric rod. He knows this cheese strut only works here. Admittedly, he couldn't solo this boss raw, but that transmission tower, total game changer. Ninomiya tells the creep it was doomed from spawn. Boss down, dungeon cleared, level up ×4. Stoked he actually soloed a dungeon after 2 years of grinding pain. Spent that whole time studying dungeon lore, even with zero access. Stressed his fam out, though he kept believing. Mom and sis begged him to quit hunting cause it's super risky, but he was like, nah, never giving up. Boss toast, mob's gone. Next stop, hunter base. Enters the comms hub, glitchy cause of the break, but with the dungeon wiped, signals should be back online. Finds the room, hacks the lock with a trap skill. The setup in there? Actually, pretty sick. Glad the rig and gear are still running smoothly. Checks the cams. Stoked, he doesn't need a fingerprint. Log in, then reboots the whole system to fix the glitch. System's back online and instantly starts scanning the hood. Data loads, dropping a bombshell. We just cleared in a ranked dungeon. Ninomiya is absolutely shook. No way he survived something with that insane difficulty level. Next up, the system starts creeping on other local zones. Such a relief to see it pulling intel from other spots too. FYI, an area is basically a dungeon zone sliced up by city borders. But since Earth went full dungeon mode, new zones popped up everywhere. Ninomiya can't believe the system is legit trying to scan it all. There's way too many. Wait, he could totally map the whole planet with this tech. It tries, then instant fail. Big fat error message appears. The interface says scans are capped at a 100-kilometer radius. Makes sense, too much data. System couldn't handle the heat. Even if he can't spy on the whole globe, checking the local HUD is good enough. Mom and sis are apart, so he's got to check their zones. His biggest stress is definitely how sketchy those spots are right now. Results load, and he nearly waits himself. Everything's rated a rank. Total panic mode. Did monsters wipe out the whole map? Then he squints harder at the data and spots active status. Phew, they haven't crumbled yet. Huge relief, some spots are cleared and Wi-Fi's back. He is totally stunned seeing other beasts out there clearing zones one by one. Right? Brain blast. Gotta check the fam first. Sujidato is up first. That's where Mom stays. Sweet, zone cleared and signal is fully back. Means he can call, so he smashes that dial button. Yes, it picks up, and Nomiya asks if she's okay. She says some hunters saved them. Mom checks on him, and he tells her he's chill. Then he asks, heard anything from Shiori? Mom says the call to Shiori worked once, but died instantly. Bad signal. Before hanging up, he tells Mom to sit tight and stay safe. Mom's good. So Nanomiya knows sis is the only one left to stress over. She's at her school dorms, over in the west ward. He scans the west ward and sees it's Clarid. Makes sense. Since the phones are dead, suddenly, a news flash pops up from hunters out west. Turns out, they totally hijacked the whole district, ignoring the giant boss monsters still roaming around. They posted a selfie video ditching the outside world, claiming all the westward peeps are now totally independent. Ninomiya's jaw drops watching this since his sis is basically stuck there. Hearing footsteps at the door, he panics and pops a trap skill to hide. Before you can blink, Ninomiya gets yeeted onto the roof thanks to his confusion jump skill. Phew, close one. But then he realizes he has absolutely zero mana left, and that trashy trap tapped him out. He remembers the orb buffed his stats, meaning his max tank is bigger now. Everyone knows that traps, burns, juice, and after that boss fight, he's running on empty. Ninomiya comes to the realization he's got to grind levels and boost that mana bar fast. Just then, his sis calls, and he's praying she's actually okay. He picks up, but the signal is absolute trash and crackling. Ninomiya asks if Shiori is good, and she's like, I'm chill, don't worry. She hasn't even finished talking when the call just dies. Ninomiya is baffled. The zone isn't cleared, yet she claims it's safe. Plus, that earlier message from the hunters is super sketchy. Putting it all together, Nomiya knows leaving his sis alone would be dumb. He decides he's got to go check on her himself. But first, he needs to refill his mana tank. Later, he creeps into the hunter supply tent and swipes some mana potions, since they are going to be handed to hunters later, so Ninomiya figures borrowing is fine. Besides, he'll totally work hard to pay it off. He chugs the potion, hits full mana, and feels pretty awesome about it. But he still has to trek from Central all the way to the West Ward. To get there, he's got to cross two other zones, Kawabi Ward and EY Ward. Making it worse, neither of those spots has been cleared yet. No doubt, it's going to be a monster-fighting road trip, but he has no choice. He's kinda sweating about whether he's strong enough to survive this. He figures it'll be game over if he has to solo another boss and his mana runs dry mid. To avoid that, Ninomiya decides to level up his mana capacity ASAP. He decides to push forward while power leveling his skills on the way. With that, Ninomiya starts his first real hunter gig, which is basically a dungeon run. Twist alert. Monsters can invade safe zones, so it's a non-stop brawl. A few moments later, Ninomiya hits Kabi Ward, ready to throw hands since monsters could pop up. Suddenly, two random guys pop up, looking like fellow hunters. They stroll over, begging for rare loot since they're totally gearless for the beasts ahead. Ninomiya just chills and says he's broke. Instantly, one guy whips out a nasty claw weapon. The pair declares they're gonna rob him blind right now. Boom, they lunge, and he barely ducks a head-chopping swipe. Dodging that death blow screams one thing. These aren't hunters, they're bandits. They rush him again, but Ninomiya triggers a trap, smashing a giant weight onto them. While they're squished, Ninomiya debates ending them or not. He wonders if fragging humans gives XP points like monsters do. Since it's possible, he realizes he gotta watch out for rogue player killers. But he decides he'll stick to hunting beasts, not people. Plus, he's got a sick new strat to test. Later, he spots a mob of monsters wrecking the place. He grabs their attention using the whistle doll, a noisy toy that lures creeps in. Like clockwork, the beasts swarm the bait. He's bummed. There's only 4 of them, way too few for his plan. Still, he pops his trap cage to lock him up. With them jailed, it's time to test a fresh ability. He hits the copy mirror skill, which clones the monsters endlessly. Usually, this is a super risky move, but since they're caged, it's the perfect setup. Exactly as planned, the mobs start duplicating inside. Ninomiya waits, letting the box get totally packed. Why? Because more enemies equals way more sweet XP. He's gonna wipe them all out in one go to power level fast. Once the cage is stuffed to the max, he drops the disaster weight skill. A massive block spawns and squashes everything flat. Total wipeout. Feeling like a genius, he dubs this deathbot Experience Cube, since it lets him farm hundreds of kills. The level up boost is insane. He even unlocks a new skill. It's called Trap Domination, letting him boss around trapped beasts. His jaw hits the floor reading that description. Turning monsters into allies. That's totally broken, and oh, he spots a survivor from earlier and decides to test drive it. He blasts a skill at the hurt mob, but bow and get bounces off. Confused at first, he figures it only works on specific trap monsters. It's for trap-related creeps, not random wild ones like this guy. Since it's useless, he deletes it with his finisher sword. Nanomiya figures. Time to scan the radar and bolt toward his sis. Nanomiya touches the floor, mapping the zone like a cheat code. Spots a super sus area loaded with traps. Epic loot nearby. He zooms in for a better look. Yo, that sketch building's a museum. Weirdly, there's a hidden tunnel underneath. Classic. New quest objective. Raid the museum. Passes a random giant lake. Whatever eyes on the prize, he steps right in. Zero hesitation. Already scanned it, so he knows it's Trap City inside. Slow and steady so he doesn't get wrecked by a glitch. Then he locks his sights on a fake chest and casts Trap Domination. It actually works. Gut feeling for the win. It's a mimic get, too close, and you're a snack. Not your basic mob, this one's got distinct vibes. He wasn't shook, cause the scan already spoiled the surprise. Still, glad the hack worked. New teammate acquired. Then the mimic starts bugging out and charges him. Did the cheat code fail? Before he can react, it tackles him flat. Wait, cancel, panic. It's just playing like a puppy. Whoa, the monster's actually clinging to him. Cute. Even if it looks kinda nightmare fuel, the skill totally worked. Skill confirmed legit. Time to hit the underground. Stepping into Nanomiya is shook by how massive this place is. Def dungeon magic, cause no way, this fit here before. He knows these spaces usually have a specific purpose. Shortcut, maybe avoiding the surface mobs. Not sure, just praying he's not the main course. But the path is sketchy. Price of a shortcut, I guess. Before moving out, he dubs the chest Mimi. Creative, right? Mimi loves it. Jumping around, all hype. He's stoked, she digs it, but warns her to chill. Danger. Mimi bows. They roll to the next room, and when he opens the door, bam, statue in the center. Just a statue in a door? Seems a bit too empty. He strolls up to the stone douche, tries to pass, and it attacks. Dude pops a rock shield just in time to save his neck. Honestly, he totally saw that coming. That statue is 100% a trap monster. Standard dungeon mimic logic. Get close, and the bronze wakes up. His radar pinged a high threat alert way before he stepped inside. Can't tame a rock, so he baited her into beast mode by walking up. Now that the sculpture is awake, she is out for blood. She teleports behind him. Asterisk clang. He barely parries the strike. He hops back, sweating this metal chick hits like a truck. Plus, she's glitch stepping around, constantly targeting his blind spot. Predictable. She warps to a 6 for another cheap shot. But nope, his defense is still tight. Wait, why brah? She's a trap type, so normal fighting is dumb. Time to unleash his trap domination cheat and force her to join the party. Boom, headshot, waits, zero effect. Is this thing broken? Did she tank it? Nah, his skill level is just trash right now. Guess he hasn't grinded enough XP on this new ability yet. Total noob mistake. Mimi was easy mode, but this statue is an elite tier mob. New plan. Spam the spell until the RNG gods finally bless him. He rips another blast, but whoosh, she's way too fast for that. Okay, that first hit was pure dumb luck. However, if he can download her attack patterns, he might actually hit her. She vanishes, so he sets a quick snare to force her out. While he's busy, she spawns right behind him. Swords coming down, bam, a metal washtub drops on her head. Classic. It soaks her, which honestly just makes her super salty. She starts raging with that. Blay, but he dodges. Yeah, she is definitely fuming now. But jokes on her, wet feet leave footprints. Following the splashes, he pre-aims where she's gonna be. He keeps spamming that trap. Domination skill, desperate to add her to his collection. Still failing, but he won't quit. He's dead set on recruiting her. Meanwhile, Mimi is cowering behind a pillar, terrified. Her boss is about to get deleted. Uh-oh. Mana bar's blinking red. Juice for only one last shot. Can he clutch this win? Or is it game over? Suddenly, the bronze berserker rushes him. No choice. He bets his whole life bar on this final cast. Pouring every ounce of magic in, he fires, screaming, "Gotcha." Right as her blade is inches from his face, boom, that final shot connects. and she freezes like a glitchy NPC. Ninomiya's jaw drops. Did his weird combo actually work? Suddenly, that scary "I'm gonna delete you" vibe is totally vanishing. Before he can blink, he realizes the spell was a success. She drops to her knees, calling Ninomiya master and apologizing for the sass. Ninomiya is freaking out seeing the monster actually chatting. Since when do mobs have voice lines enabled? He tries to act cool and asks, "Yo, who are you exactly?" She pops the helmet off. Whoa! Epic white hair and total waifu face. She hits him with the "I'm nobody" line. Mysterious much. Turns out she's a nameless grunt and needs Nin to give her a handle so she can officially join the squad. She's got that knight aesthetic, so he dubs her Jean. Jean digs the new tag and gives him big thanks. But wait, Mimi zooms over to assert dominance. "I'm the OG here." Jean's chill though, relax fam. "I'm not stealing your spot." She even hits Mimi with the "teach me's." Move smooth. Ninomiya is shook. Monsters have drama and pecking orders. Wild. Alright drama queens, let's roll. Ninomiya says, but Jean is like, "Hold up boss." Pause. She warns him, the next room is a major boss. Bro. The big bad was snoozing, but now it's wide awake and angry. Ninomiya freezes. "Excuse me, say what now?" Jean admits, she's the dungeon bouncer. Basically, when she went battle mode she accidentally pinged the boss too. No, skipping this cuisine. Beat the boss, or stay trapped forever. Ninomiya is absolutely floored. Mandatory boss fight. 0 stars, would not recommend. He's cooked. He totally thought this was the easy mode path. Panic mode engage. Nope, let's 180 and bail. He yells. Jean shakes her head. "Can't do that, chief. That door is locked tight. No human muscle can budge it now. It's a one-way trip. Only exit is through the boss room." Talk about a trap. Ninomiya interrupts. "I can't fight a boss right now. My mana bar is totally empty. I'm running on fumes." Suddenly, Mimi pokes him and whips out a blue potion. Clutch! Ninomiya didn't know his pet had an inventory. He chugs that juice instantly. He's hyped to fight, but Jean kills the vibe instantly. Mana is cool, but got water skills. No, then we're doomed. Because this boss is basically a walking volcano. Pure fire. Everyone knows to beat a spicy mob like that, you need a full hydro squad dumping ults on it. Hearing that, Ninomiya he thinks he is totally cooked since his water magic is absolutely zilch. But he buffers for a second, and boom, a big brain strategy loads up. Since humans can't exit that door, he asks Jean if a mob can pass, and she nods. Yup. Nino is still plotting the strut when the whole room starts shaking like crazy. Jean shouts that the area boss is sick of waiting and has decided to come throw hands right now. She screams at Nino to pop a shield, cause scorching fire is incoming fast. Before they can blink, the place goes boom. They're trapped in OP flames that can roast literally everything to dust. The insane heat radiating from the boss's Nino shook because he's never seen aggro this scary before. The room starts crumbling, but Nino clutches the defense to keep the squad safe. Once the chaos finally chills out, the boss steps up, looking absolutely terrifying. Nino realizes this whole dungeon was just a straight shot to this nightmare. Knowing that camping in this room is basically suicide, Nino decides they gotta bail immediately. Nino turns to Mimi with a special mission. Tells her she's gotta go solo once he spills the He whispers the plan, but the boss rudely interrupts with a massive attack. Nino and the crew are forced to dodge roll for their lives. Nino hits a jump pad, launching himself clear of the smash. He spins around and sees Mimi already booking it for the exit door. Luckily, Mimi can actually squeeze through, cause she's a mob. Nino prays she doesn't botch the clutch play. Nino rushes the boss and spawns a warp portal right behind it. It's an exit gate where stuff can get blasted out from. The boss spams attack too, but Jean slices it down to save her lead. Nino shouts a quick thanks to Jean and tells her to stop sweating about his dodging skills. "I'll be bait, you sweep the leg and stun lock him," he orders. He needs her to pin the boss directly under that open portal. Jean doesn't hesitate and dives right into the action. As Jean fights, Nino prays. Mimi clutches up. It's all on her now. His orders: leave the dungeon, sprint to the forest, find the lake. Up top, Mimi had already spotted the water and yeeted herself straight in without pausing. Back down, Nino is sweating, trying to keep the boss's aggro. Suddenly, Jean spots a glitch in its defense and goes for it. She slashes the leg, forcing the big guy to take a knee. Nino cheers. Boss is trapped under the warp. Now it's Mimi's turn to carry. See? He hid the warp entrance inside Mimi's chest before she dipped. As soon as that chest hits the lake bottom and links to Nino's portal, it's totally game over. Suddenly, the fire boss feels water dripping on his head. Uh-oh. He spins around and spots a massive geyser blasting from the warp hole. It's like the entire lake decided to crash the party all at once. With the flood incoming, Ninomiya yells at Jean to duck behind him for cover. He whips up a sturdy barrier just in time. Dude is totally stoked. His crazy plan actually worked. Usually, beating this boss zone takes a whole squad of water mages, not just one guy. Since summoning water from scratch wasn't happening, he sent Mimi to the lake while he hacked a portal open. Boom. Instant hype. The boss is pinned, exposing its core, and Jean screams, "Smash it now!" Nanomiya unleashes his longsword ult and totally deletes the monster. Right on cue, Mimi comes surfing out of the portal splash. Nanomiya runs over to give her props for the assist. He's mid-praise when Claytor's sword drops out of the sky too. He stares at the glowing magic-crapped weapon, totally confused. While he's dazed, Jean tells him to snag it quick because that's the level's secret loot. Nanomiya's jaw drops, finding S-tier gear like this is stupidly rare. Jean figures it was probably stuck at the lake bed and just hitched a ride on the current. Nanomiya listens, grabbing the hilt and yanking it free. Energy explodes everywhere. The HUD calls it the Sword of Mystic Light. It's packed with invisible power, but the special ability is still locked. Since the description is blank, he'll just have to swing it and see. Boom! A massive quake shakes the room, scaring the crap out of him. Jean's like, "Chill bro, that just means we beat the boss." The dungeon layout is basically rearranging itself, and suddenly the exit path pops open. Nanomiya takes point, climbing out a manhole right on the district border. He realizes they're gonna hit Iwad way faster than expected. It's been a wild ride, but he's hyped they made it this far. Jean starts climbing out, but then Nanomiya hears footsteps approaching fast. He shoves his buddy back down. Can't let Peep see him with a monster. The squad rolls up, asking what the heck he's doing in a danger zone. Nanomiya rubs his head, playing dumb. Benoto says they're Gearets, the rescue squad. Then some guy in the back tells the team to take a chill pill. He steps up, eyes glued to his tablet, and to his shock, realizes this kid is the S-rank stray everyone talks about. He says rumors are flying because Nanomiya sold a boss map. The guy's stoked to spot him and instantly throws out a deal. He wants Nanomiya to join the crew so they can team up, cause he can legit just flash a badge and register right then. Nino's eyes go full sparkle mode hearing that, since it's the moment he's been manifesting for years. But plot twist, Nino, says Pasha, shocking the room. The boss is confused but figures Nino has his reasons. He tells Nino, "You do you, go solo, if that's the vibe," but he warns him, "Watch out for shady hunters in AA Ward." Nino's met creeps like that, but this warning hits different. Means he's gotta stay sharp in case it all goes sideways. Once the squad dips, Nino tells Jean and Mimi they can come out now, coast is clear. Jean asks if ghosting the pros was really a big brain move. Nino's like, "Nah, I'm over the whole official hunter drama. Basically, the world's toast, so none of that matters. Plus, trusting randos right now, hard pass." Nino tells Jean he doesn't need a guild, he's got the squad. Says Jean and Mimi are the MVP's best teammates ever. Hearing that turns them into total blushing tomatoes. They hit IA Ward, and Nino decides to scan the map first. Nino fires up his skill and pings something super sus nearby. What is that? Tsukasa and the crew head to Iwatani, spotting a creepy theme park matching the scan. It was the first time sensing a mark like this. Ignoring it seemed too risky, so bye-bye Western District plans for now. Even though Tsukasa hates side quests, he decides to speedrun this issue and get back on track. As they enter, Mimi squeaks her spidey senses are tingling. So, Tsukasa looks around and spots a weird object up ahead. The sign screams, "Do not touch," or face a boulder-crushing beast. Tsukasa's dying to know what it is, but Jean's like, "Chill, bro. That might be a catastrophe trap. Rare, massive traps. Total mystery until you trigger." Hearing that, Tsukasa shook. Never saw that in the library books. Despite being so nosy, he makes the smart play. Don't touch the doom button. With that, they bounce, hacking through a jungle toward the west. Tsukasa is struggling, whining about the map not showing how thick the trees are. Suddenly, he spots a squad fighting a Beast Association peeps. After checking there, after watching the brawl for a sec, Tsukasa realizes their teamwork is total trash. So he dives in to save their butts before the monster deletes them from existence. Out of nowhere, a blinding flash zooms straight at the beast. Turns out, it's a hunter chick sprinting full tilt with her blade ready. She lands a hit so hard the shockwave rattles the whole woods. Jean starts panic-asking if Tsukasa is okay, but honestly, Tsukasa is too busy staring at the new girl who just dropped in. She hits the group with a "sorry I'm late," and they're totally She drops her name, Sumugia Sahina, an S-rank pro from the association. She starts explaining how she was actually hunting down the big bad. She was after the area boss, but saw these guys struggling, and stepped in. Tsukasa peeps her moves and admits that Strike was actually legit. But when she tries to squat up to fight the boss, he realizes she's clueless. Dragging weaklings along just slows you down. Of course, the randoms immediately follow her like puppies, but Jean figures out Tsukasa isn't joining that circus. Instead, they bail on the forest, and while walking, they hit a riverbank. Tsukasa groans about all the trekking ahead. Then he feels eyes on him and calls out the stalker. Yo, I know you've been trailing us for a while. The creeper stays quiet, so Tsukasa preps a trap to force them out. Seeing Tsukasa about to fire, the dude jumps out, begging for mercy. He claims he's just a regular civilian passing through the woods, basically pleading with Tsukasa not to leave him as Monster Chow. Tsukasa is baffled until he spots Mimi next to the guy. Ah, got it. He chills the guy out, saying he's a solo hunter with weird pets. Hearing Tsukasa is a pro, the dude exhales huge, begging for an escort to safety since he's lost. Tsukasa mulls it over. It's a massive detour, and he's kinda in a rush. But monsters are everywhere. So he decides to dump the geezer on Tsumugi's crew. Tsukasa tells the guy to tag along, promising to hand him off to the association safely. The guy's hyped to go home, but bumps Mimi and freaks out at the chest. Tsukasa steps in, realizing walking with monsters looks super sus. If the association sees him, he'll get grilled for sure. So he tells Jean and Mimi to chill while he walks the guy back solo. They listen, and Tsukasa heads back down the path with the stranger. After a bit, the old dude tries to make small talk. Tsukasa shuts him down. Monsters could jump him any second. But the geezer has his own shady agenda. He thinks Tsukasa is the naive one for only worrying about beasts. He lunges at Tsukasa from behind, but gets caught instantly by Tsukasa's reflector counterpunch. Tsukasa reveals he knew the guy would turn on him all along, cause he got the heads up about sketchy poachers nearby. Realizing he's busted, the dude flashes the rare blade he just swiped, claims he snatched it with his skills right before getting blasted. Gripping it, he brags his power, auto-loots the sickest gear from foes. Figuring that Tsukasa is OP, the creep thinks this shiny loot guarantees a win. He rushes Tsukasa, steps right onto a hidden trap. Spiky vines instantly pop up, wrapping him like a human burrito. Totally shook, the bandit screams at Tsukasa, asking what gives. Tsukasa's like, I did nothing, you just tripped it. Then he admits, purposefully knocked him there cause he knew a trap was waiting. Flashing his trap scan skill, he grabs the epic sword, telling the geezer, two can play the cheat game. Armed now, Tsukasa asks if the guy wants to be his first test dummy. The dude instantly shakes, begging for mercy. He trades info on secret loot for his life. Hearing about legendary gear, Tsukasa demands the deets. Usually, he'd think the guy's lying, since his scan missed any loot earlier. Plus, rare drops are usually covered in traps, which he'd easily spot. But since his scan ain't perfect, like that lake, Sorgini pops up. Seeing him, she says she and Mimi bolted over after hearing the ruckus. Learning the geezer's a poacher, she begs Tsukasa to let her finish him. Smoothly, she draws her blade, aiming for the neck, but the guy screams, wait, listen. Panicking, he spills that he saw the clue for the hidden loot while hunting for victims. Wandering the ravine, the cliff moved, and a giant rock monster appeared. Confused, Tsukasa asks, what that beast has to do with loot? But the bandit shouts, duh, a monster that huge is definitely guarding the treasure. Tsukasa thinks the guy, stretching, and Genie warns it's risky trusting a villain. She adds that hidden items are often in simple spots to trick people. After listening, Tsukasa decides to trust the bandit and test their luck. Hoping this item helps them find he tells the bandit to lead, keeping those vines tight. Suddenly, a loud bang explodes behind him. Tsumugi appears, slashing at him and the vines, but he dodges fast. Genie rushes over as Tsumugi accuses Tsukasa of being the poacher. Seeing she's confused, he then spots hunters blocking Genie's path. As they throw hands with the mobs, Tsukasa tells Jean to chill, it's just a big misunderstanding. Zero hesitation, Tsumugi rushes, but a sudden wooden shield pops up, saving his noggin from getting sliced. Tsumugi presses him. Seeing Jean and Mimi are his crew, she claims that, confirms he's the villain. Blocking her hits, Tsukasa insists she's got it all twisted. While the freed bandit makes his exit, Jana asks if she can frag the hunters. Tsumugi's shook that she speaks. Tsukasa orders Jean, just grab Mimi and bail. Instantly, she snatches the mob loot box and zooms off, leaving Tsumugi's squad in the dust. Right after Tsumugi smashes Tsukasa shield, shoving him back, she yells at her boys to swarm him. Ignoring the mobs since he's the boss, she mocks him for letting his homies dip, saying he's outnumbered 40. Plot twist, Tsukasa spawns a rare blade, telling her he sent them away just to test this weapon on a crowd. Gripping the hilt, he says it's time to go beast mode. The Aranks think he's capping. No way that tiny sword wins. So they rush him, Ignoring orders, Tsukasa sets a pinball trap and chucks the sword. Bouncing around, it smacks the hunters, tripping them up. Sumuki spies the traps. This dude ain't basic. Her crew who got tagged drop, whining about stinging pain. Checking cuts, they realize they've been poisoned. Tsukasa grabs the blade. Turns out, it deals status effects on hit. While he hypes the sword, thinking, there's more to it, Sumuki strikes and yeets his weapon. She wants to stop him from wrecking her team. Convinced disarming him means an easy dub. Weaponless Tsukasa uses trap skills to make a string, puppeteering the sword to hit her back. She panics, thinking poison, but checks and sees frost. Boom, ice attack. Tsukasa notes, the sword changed color. When he grabbed it, meaning it swaps elements on demand. Not quitting, Sumuki preps her serious. Ult Swi's closed. Focusing. She fires energy. Fast cuts fly at him. Pairing with a short sword is tough. The weapon gets knocked out of his grip, and she slashes to pull it to her. She catches it, demanding surrender. Surprise! It morphs into a twig and fog. In that split second, Tsukasa dashes and drops her while she's unguarded. He's like, joke's on you, I had the real blade the whole time. Pro tip, don't blink when attacking. You basically begged me to trap you. Sumugi is stubborn, not done yet. She yells, but freezes stuck. Then he drops the news. You've got the paralysis, He tosses a hint, chugs some healing potions. You guys look wrecked. Shocked, she asks, why spare us? But he just shrugs it off. Not here to rob or kill you. Just needed to stop this dumb fight. He walks up, clarifying he's no poacher. Finally, she buys it. She then says sorry for the mix-up and they squash the beef. Boom, ground shakes. Giant rock beast incoming. Tsukasa spots it. Is that the bandit's pet rock? He wonders. That's an area, boss, Sumugi cries. The exact mob we're hunting. She flashes her scanner. Yup, illegal boss confirmed. He glances over that sketchy hunter is bailing. Monster sees him too. Bam! Ground smash. Runner trips hard. Tsukasa warps instantly. Pops up next to him. Explain. No. Scared stiff. The loser spills. Yeah, the monster rumors were real. But he woke it up on purpose, hoping it'd go berserk on Tsukasa's crew. Joke's on him they didn't follow. So now the beast is chasing him. Karma. Tsukasa's ticked. You knew it was a boss, didn't ya? Before he can grill him more. Look out. Rocky's smashing down. Tsukasa dodges just in time. Sumugi tries to bail with her squad, but the mob grows on them. Luckily, Tsukasa casts a trap spell. Clang bucket on the head. Beast is furious. It targets him. Sumugi's jaw drops at his crazy move. Tsukasa bolts into the woods. Monster hot on his heels. All part of the plan. He lures it away so the injured noobs can heal. While he scours for a battle arena, Jean and Mimi are chilling by the river. Jean hears a rumble. Sounds like a rock slide, she tells Mimi. Suddenly, the beast crashes in. Tsukasa's clinging to it. Seeing his team, he yells, gear up. We gotta drop this, boss. It's aggroed on me. No choice. As he puzzles over its armor, swish, swish, air slashes hit. Enter Sumugi. She yells his name. Let's raid this thing together. Tsukasa blinks you back. She grins. Thanks to your distraction, we're fully buffed. Tsukasa freaks out because she knows him. How? She flashes the hunter wiki. Dude, you solo bosses? She's like, my bad. Total fail. Then finally drops her name. Squad yells. Our hits did 0 damage. She turns to him. You're the pro gamer. Got a strut. We're clueless. So, PLZ, carry us. We'll risk it all. He's shook. Y'all barely know me though. Is Sumugi nuts or just a total angel? Whatever. Finally, got a squad for this? Ding? Brain blast. But you gotta obey my every command. She nods, so the noobs fall in line. They gear up, gripping weapons tight. Time to set the ultimate trap.